18 January, weather forecasts seemed cautiously optimistic that we would only see snow and the freezing rain remain south of us.
Late Friday night through Monday morning. It's not going to precipitate that whole time, but there's a chance it will for a time during that time window. There's just tremendous discrepancy and inconsistency right now in the computer models.
By January 24th, we were given fair warning that things might take a turn for the worse. Local power companies had been preparing for it. January 25th became their worst-case scenario. As temperatures rose above 32 degrees overnight and into Sunday morning, whisper-quiet raindrops fell and slowly accumulated ice onto everything. Looking outside, things were looking bad. My power went out about 6:30 a.m. My house came to a hush, which amplified the constant outside sounds of ice-laden limbs and trees crashing down. In a panic, I'd moved my two-wheel drive truck way out from underneath the tree canopy. Then hastily loaded an overnight bag into my car that I had just installed snow tires onto days prior. Good thing I did that, because as it was, I would have remained stuck at my house with no power, no heat, and freezing for many days.
After receiving snow on Saturday, the Nashville area woke to a coating of ice this morning, leading to numerous downed trees and power lines throughout the community. Earlier this morning, I declared a local state of emergency for Metro. This declaration allows us to take additional steps to support the safety and well-being of Nashvillians, request state assistance, and, as needed, invoke emergency-related mutual aid assistance from surrounding communities.
I had no idea how long the power outage would last, nor the extent of the damage that would be caused by the ice. In this graphic, the worst of the ice is in red. My house is in the middle of that blob of bubbles right there, so I had it pretty bad. My electric company, Cumberland Electric Membership Corporation, painted a pretty dismal picture by offering this statement. Nashville Electric Service, which services Nashville and vicinity, offered a very dismal picture of themselves. I thought I had it bad. They had it worse than I did. And here I am telling my story, and hundreds of thousands of other folks have their very own stories that proved to be far worse than mine. So I'd gotten me a room at a motel, which was close to work, and also remained warm, and actually never lost power this entire thing. I had driven home the next day. What in the world's going on there? To see how bad it really was.
Like this, yet they don't, and we're left to get it from independent journalists, and then the mainstream media will say, "Oh, they're alt-right."
Hey, is the power back on up here?
No, sir.
Okay. Have a good day. Since the snow had gotten slushy from the rain that had fallen on it yesterday morning, plus refreezing yesterday and overnight, this is like 3 inches of ice here on the ground right now. From just the freezing rain accumulation on the tree limbs, here's a perspective. I think that qualifies for more than a half inch of ice. What a wreck. Anyway, I'd gone to the house to grab a few more things that I didn't get the day prior. Turns out a tree had gone down over my driveway, so I couldn't drive down there. And a lot of limbs on the roof. Easy does it, Earl. In the driveway. driveway. I'm in the driveway. The city workers are out there cutting away trees and limbs across the roads. Man, I appreciate you guys to no end.
Yes, sir.
Watch the edge. You're so close to it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. The linesmen were out there working on the lines on Louisville Highway, so there was a hope there that maybe we'd get power in a day or two. The main thoroughfare through Nashville is Broadway Parkway. Look at how those trees are slumped over the noise barrier walls. That's just a small example of how bad it was. This is McGavick Pike. I'd gone out looking for a place to get laundry done, but nobody had any power, so I ended up doing a 40-mile round-trip excursion to Hendersonville, Tennessee. This right here told me how bad Nashville was getting. This is just one of many thousands of roads that were affected. Near my motel room and where I work is the Elliott Company that I found staging their trucks to assist in the restoration efforts here in Nashville. Last time I saw these folks is during the 2020 tornado. I also noticed that they were busing in their drivers for overnight crew and realized that these people have to have some place to stay, and I need to probably extend my motel room for another 4 days because I don't think I'm going to be able to leave it soon. Therefore, I paid for 4 more nights at the motel. For my morning Joe, I had to go out and get it. Don't allow Valvoline to top off your windshield wiper fluid. It will freeze. Do the stuff out of the car parts place that has a freeze point of minus 20 degrees. Also, despite what Dave Ramsey says, folks, hang on to those credit cards even though we don't use them anymore because they make great ice scrapers in situations like this.
I know how badly he just wanted to let it be known who he was, but yeah, obviously he's got his livelihood, his family depends on him. Yep.
Welcome down to come up. He works on weekends, right?
What? I want 2 large cups of coffee, please.
You need 2 large coffees?
Yes.
You want cream and sugar in them?
No.
So you want 2 just large black coffees. Anything else?
That's all. My neighbor, who I spotlighted in a previous video, had cut that tree across the driveway for me so I could drive to the house. And then a co-worker had loaned me 2 kerosene heaters to heat the house up since I had no electricity yet. Although I'd left every single faucet running when I left on Sunday morning, I couldn't do anything about the toilet, the ice maker, and the refrigerator, or the washing machine for that matter, so I was worried about those things freezing. I was literally walking back to my house and I watched a limb come down and harpoon my roof. Right there. Great. I subsequently returned to the house about 4 hours later to turn the heaters off before they ran out of fuel, which would have spread nasty soot all over everything. you doing? If you want to borrow my helmet, you're welcome to it. I didn't want to leave those heaters going because they get all sooted up.
Yeah.
And it warmed up to about 50 in there.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. I should have kept the bedroom door shut though. And no leaks. Water's still running. Toilet still flushes.
Yeah.
I probably got a mess over there. Yeah, so right there is a tank in the ground, and that's where my sewage goes into, is in that tank. And because my house is 500 feet from the road is like way out there, plus it goes downhill and then back uphill. In order for the sewage to get out there, then they have that grinder pump.
Yeah, well, mine runs out on the ground.
Yeah.
They all got to do it. We ain't got no power.
It'll probably be blue though. I got the blue stuff.
I wouldn't worry about it. Yeah. I've been up there sawing on that tree in my front yard. And one of his family guys that lives right there, the dumbass thought he could go. The guy could go past that rock road in a damn Challenger or something like that. Went straight in that little, didn't like this, and the road was front end off. It was there. I couldn't move him. But I had to go back and get the crawler. Wouldn't know where to hook on to it, so I just put that thing right through his rear wheel and just slid him around sideways.
Well, that's the way they do it in the wreckers.
I just run it through his wheel
Yeah.
and drug him out of the ditch sideways, put him around. I just more or less turned him around, headed him back up the road. He didn't call it a half a dozen Hispanic buddies, but there wasn't nothing they could do. I thought, where? As far as he got. I just drug him around out of the road with the crawler, and we kind of, I got him over to the side a little bit so he get a little traction. Yeah.
Man, where would this world be without you? I swear.
You'd probably be better off, Earl.
Give me a damn break. I will. Thank you. You be safe too. Don't fall down no more. Go ahead. Go ahead. Well, at 73 years old, my neighbor sure is a spry old fella. Very able-bodied. Looking after his daughter who lives next to me, neighbors down the street, and me too. In my recent conversation with her, she referred to him as a force of nature. Now coming up is a public relations video from NES. NES was getting a lot of flack because what seemingly to be very slow response to the power outages across Nashville. And the linesmen were undeserving of this, but the people who ran the place, they caught hell for it. So 3.5 days after the ice storm, I got to head home and check things out. Here driving through Nashville though, you can see the stark difference between where it's gotten power and where there's no power. Got home, my porch light was on. It looked pretty good. I need to run in there, make sure everything was okay with electricity and the power and the lights and the heat, turn the water off, and ultimately turn the water to the house off, because in case there was something that had frozen and thawed out, I didn't want to be leaking the next few days or so. I'm still not staying here this night. I'm going inside now. I'll be back in a minute. Wait for me here. Right there. Of course, my eagle-eyed neighbor had seen that I had arrived, so I had to go talk to him. Yeah.
Hey, I went upstairs where I had the water dripping in one of my sinks. There was an ice cube laying in that sink.
I was expecting that was it yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
At least down there in Nashville, it didn't get as cold last night.
No, it didn't.
So that was nice.
Right, yeah.
And the sun came out in all its glory today. It stayed that way, didn't it?
It didn't stay out very long, because I was here with the power company. They made sure those lines, that top line wasn't hitting anything in that tree. They looked at yours, made sure it wasn't arcing out. I talked to him a few minutes, and he wasn't too reassuring me that they get it back on. So they were working here and then down in the tail, and then.
Well, there can always be a potential of a limb coming down on it too, again. Because
You're good. I didn't know we was on. I went outside. My daughter and me was going to run up to take some stuff up to the White House to the kids. I come out to look at something in the truck, and I figured I gotta gas that generator when we get back. I looked up, and the guy down in the woods lights gone. And I said, "Oh, he must have a generator system." You know, I turned around and looked, I seen the street light on down the road, and I didn't know ours was on until I messaged you, because we got in the car and I come around and you seen ours. Mine was on. But I didn't see yours. I didn't come out. But you're good. No holes in the roof. Good there. Just starting to melt. We lost another limb right down there today. I had to throw it off.
you're still coming down, man.
Yes, sir. And
That's why I need more sunshine tomorrow and a little bit warmer temperature to knock this ice off the trees.
yeah.
Because come Saturday, it's going to get really cold.
It's gonna hit us again. First of the week.
Yeah.
I think they're calling. Now, maybe it's gonna happen again. Okay.
Maybe. Thank you, man. Yeah, a fist bump. I hadn't thought that the mail had been running, so I haven't bothered to check it since the tree was frozen to the mailbox, but I checked it for the first time in 4 days. I didn't get much. Junk mail. One of my first complaints was that coffee maker right there has no carafe, or whatever, the glass part or basket, the way to make coffee. I went to the front desk and they said, well, we don't have anything up here except this, which wasn't what it needed to have. This thing here missing a drawer. Obviously I didn't do that, nor did I do that for the hanger of the iron and the ironing board. And this wonderful latch here that's supposed to keep people out, screws hanging out. Stay comfortably warm in here. Setting that for 68 degrees will bake you like a loaf of bread. And the temperature probe is laying on the ground. And now for the visuals, I'll offer more NESPR
We're here this
videos.
afternoon just to let you all know that we have union line crews across the city restoring our power and bringing Nashville back to life.
And I'd like to thank the mayor's office and management at NES for reaching out to the IBEW, looking for crews to come in and help support the SEIU. We appreciate everything the linemen are doing and want everyone to stay safe.
And if you see crews working out there, please thank them. It is cold and miserable for everybody. We want folks to stay safe. Please thank a lineman while we're out there getting the city put back together.
There's nothing greater than having accomplished a goal you were set forth to do.
We were over 300,000, now we're under 100 in 3 days. So we will get it done.
Just bear with us, we're doing the best we can, and we'll have you on as soon as possible.
In an effort for more transparency, NES put up daily updates by zip code in order to inform people about when power will be restored.
The date range you see on the list is an estimated timeline by which all customers able to receive power in that zip code will have power fully restored.
It seems like every road we turn on or every avenue we go down or alley, it's just more destruction.
This has been one big bomb that was dropped, but we're still going to keep going.
Nashville's mayor had to do some PR too.
This morning I was out with our incredible NDOT crews, joined by the National Guard, clearing trees out of the right-of-way in Bellevue so NES crews could get to every part of the county where there is still power outages. It is amazing to see how many Nashvilleians...
Many found that quite comical for his underdressed appearance to remove limbs in the cold weather.
Just wanted to say thanks and be out here personally to express my gratitude.
Well, after a week staying at that motel, I finally decided it was time to go home. Down to what proved to still be frozen tundra. The roads are clear here. As they were on my street, but my driveway was another story. And my poor mailbox, still attached to that tree. I can say I'm happy to be home. Here I am 11 days after that storm. The limbs are done falling. Thankfully no big trees came down and the ground is frozen like tundra. I managed to get my truck loose yesterday from the ice it was stuck in for 10 days. Some limbs are frozen to the ground and really slippery out here. Look at this thing. I made a graphic for y'all to illustrate what limbs do from tall trees. That one there went through a limb and got redirected. This one just took aerodynamics like a dart into the ground. There's another one over there. And there's more. Something I'd never seen until I moved out here amongst these tall trees. And then finally, after 12 days, they announced that NES is done restoring power.
Today we're at the NES North Service Center. Our dedicated crews are preparing to demobilize. We believe we have restored power to all customers impacted by the winter storm that are able to receive power.
But my neighbor still had something to say about all this ice.
What?
I'm sick of this shit. I've had it up to here with this.
You have?
You know, it's shit. This is just... This shit won't away.
No, it won't.
Hell, I'm trying to get that trailer out up there today, yesterday. Hell, I got stuck up there in that truck, couldn't even move. But I couldn't get that trailer out. I couldn't even get the truck out. It's just sitting there spinning on that ice wheel.
When I pulled in night before last with this thing, I knew I was going to have a hard time of it, right?
Yeah.
I made this turn, and it made the turn. I put the brakes on, set the parking brake, and it started sliding backwards. Like, damn.
It's a mess. Hell, if it ever thaws out, it's going to be muddy. I can't. Man.
Are you able to get out?
Huh?
Are you able to?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got the trailer. I'm just backing out. I didn't want to try to turn. That's so slick. When I started turning, hell, if I was lined up down the bottom of the hill.
That's the thing. That's the thing. And I came out here yesterday, and I was going to try to do some stuff. Almost busted my ass. I was like, I'm not going to do this. Well, like this crap here,
Yeah.
When I moved here, I'd never known a limb would do that. And it just, they all do that, right?
Yeah, when
They
they
all-
break off up there, they
come
sharp.
down like a damn
Harpoon.
a harpoon.
Yep, they do. They sticking like that everywhere around here. If they're blunt, they don't move. But like that one over there, you can't pull them out.
Oh no. Well,
And
not until it softens up a little bit, but that came down hard.
yep, yeah, and it's a mess. It's a boy. I tell you, we ain't the only ones suffering.
Boy, he was right in so many ways. Many folks in Nashville had endured freezing temperatures inside of their own homes for many days.
You kind of feel a little hopeless. You kind of feel a little scared because you don't know what's next or when you're going to get power, especially because all the power lines are out.
During the slow recovery from the power outages, NES faced scrutiny for numerous reasons. Local news revealed that NES had reduced their tree trimming budget following severe storms to roughly 2/3 of what it was just 3 years prior. Despite that, the NES CEO claimed that the budget had actually increased. People got upset over that because trees were the biggest cause of power outages.
The weight of ice on trees downed power lines from the winter storm, wiping out power and heat for hundreds of thousands across Nashville.
For your information, Nashville has a lot of trees. According to one website assessing tree canopy coverage of 500 cities, Nashville ranked at number 1. Another website claimed that satellite imagery through AI ranks Nashville at number 5 out of the top 10 leafiest U.S. capital cities. Why is that significant? Ice accumulation on trees can increase branch weight by 30 times or more. A 1/4 inch of ice on a mature tree can add nearly 1,200 pounds. On just a 30-foot tree, 1/2 inch of ice can add over 7,000 pounds.
We need timelines. Residents are tired of just sitting in the dark and being told, you just need to wait.
Nashville Electric Service also failed to follow its own storm response communication plan to provide indications of predicted timing of restoration within 24 hours of sustained mass outages. When the January 25th ice storm had left the city without power, NES didn't provide a predicted timing for total restoration by zip code for 6 days. A local news organization revealed that internal records showed that NES had only 160 linemen working on the 25th of January when more than 230,000 customers lost power.
The next day, the number of linemen climbed to just 300, well below what Middle Tennessee Electric had that day, at 467 linemen. It would take 4 days for NES to have 1,000 linemen working to restore power.
Documents also revealed NES had no inventory of power poles and supplies in stock, so had to be ordered during the storm.
Ultimately having to order out for 809 poles and more than 273,000 conductors.
And what even further enraged folks who went for days without power, records disclosed that the salary of the NES CEO was $654,000 per year, along with a very generous car allowance. All while people who had no power died in the cold weather. Now here, over 3 weeks past the storm, I'm going to clamor on about some of the things about NES while I walk around my yard, looking at the limb cleanup. Even with all the issues I'd mentioned, I want to take a moment to recognize the NES employees and their storm recovery efforts. Keeping in mind that with these and other points of criticism from both the local media and politicians, it is essential to consider the data before forming judgments. Let's focus on facts rather than emotions, numbers instead of negativity, and statistics over slander. We learn from the past. Many compare this to the 1994 ice storm. People were saying that NES had 3 decades to improve since that event, and evidence shows that they have. The 1994 storm caused outages for 100,000 customers throughout Middle Tennessee. Although temperatures rose above freezing within a few days, and even in the 60s within that week, it still took 2 weeks to restore the power for most areas, and up to 3 weeks for rural communities. Now, some of the unique challenges that arose with this January 2026 storm is that it had knocked out power for 230,000 NES customers alone, with temperatures remaining well below freezing for 9 consecutive days. Yet, within the first 5 days of the storm, NES restored power to more than 150,000 customers. all while battling some of Tennessee's most brutal and harsh winter weather. By 3 p.m. on day 12 after the storm, NES had restored power to all 230,000 customers. They endured prolonged stress and exhaustion, contended with extreme weather conditions rarely seen in Middle Tennessee. During the restoration efforts, they faced public and political scrutiny. But they persevered and delivered impressive results. These statistics clearly demonstrate their effectiveness. The employees of NES deserve our gratitude and support for their unwavering commitment and extraordinary efforts during a time of crisis.